What's up guys, and welcome to another video, and as the title reads, the Road to Masters series, I just want to talk about what the plan is moving forward. So as you guys know, Season 6 ends in just over 3 weeks, and I'm nowhere near Masters yet. Now obviously I don't plan on giving up, I've said that from the beginning, and I'll continue to say that. However, achieving that this season is just not possible. Season 7 starts in a few months, and when it does, I will make my run for Masters once more. The next few months until Season 7 starts is going to be preparation for the upcoming season. It's no longer going to be about every single game I play and highlights and motivation to keep going. Instead, I want to start analyzing my games more thoroughly and just try and learn with you on what mistakes I make. I want to talk you through my analysis of my own play in hopes to teach both you and myself how to be a better player. I'm not going to get worked up about my elo or if I win or lose. It's going to be 100% about getting better, and that's it. I also started a series where I only play Lee Sin from unranked to diamond. That's going to be a series to fill in the void of the competitive aspect until Season 7 arrives. That series is going to be less about learning the game and more about the climb and the highlights and the fun times along the way. I also want to start a new series that will help me become more versatile as a player. I want to learn more champions. I want to have some more pocket picks up my sleeve. I also just want to entertain you guys, and so I think another great series to start up pretty soon is a series that revolves around me learning new junglers. It'll highlight the process of learning and then eventually mastering a champion. I haven't decided exactly what it will entail yet, so feel free to leave a comment down below if you have any ideas or suggestions for that series. Okay, so now that I've caught you up with where my mind's at for the Road to Masters series, and for the new series on my channel, let's go ahead and do the first episode of my newly formatted Road to Masters series. Alright, so the first game I'm going to be analyzing is a game I played last week. This is in Diamond 4. I'm playing Lee Sin, as you can see, and I'm jungling against a Kindred. So the first part of the game that I wanted to highlight was the early game, okay? It's the early game invades. You know, how do I handle that? I wanted to analyze how I handled it in this game, so we're going to start from the top here. So I just cleared my blue. I did my standard clear, so I got level 3. He did take Scuttle because it was marked, and this tells me that if he took Scuttle this quickly, then he must not have taken both of his buffs yet. So I knew that I could probably make a play on his red here, and it's up, right? And I see him, he's level 2. This shows that I have a clear advantage if I choose to invade. So I put down a ward just to keep tabs on him to see if he's going to take it. He is trying to take it, he's trying to risk it, so I stick around, and I know that this is a great opportunity to get ahead, either my solo laners or myself. The problem is, I don't ping for a roam, okay? I completely neglect to tell my teammates, like, this is solo queue, okay? They're not going to be paying a whole lot of attention. That was my first error in this play right here. I should have pinged for my solo laners to roam up, and we could have either taken the red buff from him and just denied him a red buff, and that's really important on Kindred, or we could have gotten the kill if he got greedy, or won a 2v2 if the mid lane roamed. So I do force Kindred's flasher, which is good, okay? So the play's going good despite me not asking for help from my teammates. But here's where the play goes a little bit wrong, in my opinion. You know, I chose to take Krugs here, which I guess is like a consolation prize for not successfully killing Kindred or getting his red buff. But I really didn't need to forfeit that red buff. That red buff was mine. All I had to do, Kennen was pushing his lane, all I had to do was ask for a roam. We could have forced the red buff down or taken the 2v2 and won the fight because I'm a level 3. But instead I took Krugs, and I think that's a really big mistake for this game. Lee Sin is an early game jungler. You need to be able to get those early leads if you can. That was a window of opportunity that I was given, and I didn't capitalize on it. So that's definitely the first mistake, and I think the solution is just to be more interactive with my solo laners, have them roam more. I'm the jungler, I should be making the calls. If they don't follow, that's a whole nother issue, but I didn't even ask for assistance. So that's my first problem, is just not getting my solo laners involved enough in my early game invading there. Alright, so the second scenario in this game that I want to highlight is right here. So mid lane, a fight breaks out, Kennen and Pantheon manage to take down Kindred, and what do you notice about the map right now? The enemy blue buff is about to spawn, and the enemy jungler is now dead for 30 seconds. One thing I always preach about this game is that when you get a kill, you should look to get something else out of it as well. Using that numbers advantage, there's gotta be something you can do. And in this scenario, I definitely should have went into his jungle and taken his blue buff, and maybe even the rest of his bot side jungle. I could have given my blue buff to my mid laner, my top laner, or I could have taken it for myself. It really doesn't matter. The point is, we want to deny them blue buff. It's a little thing, but it makes a big difference in the long run. And what I end up doing is just take my jungle. Like, I didn't do anything with the kill that we got. We wasted a lot of ults. Yeah, Kennen got some gold, Pantheon got assist gold, but we didn't get a tower, and we didn't get anything from it. So really, that kill in the early game becomes useless, and I'm just wasting time. I'm wasting our lead, I'm wasting our advantage. So I just wanted to point that out as well. Moral of the story is I think I need to be a little bit more proactive in the heat of the moment. I think I get too complacent during games to the point where I see us get a kill, but I don't think to get more. I don't use our advantages, the tiny windows of opportunities that do come in the middle of the game. This is proof right here that I'm not always utilizing it. And I think the difference between a diamond and a master tier player is that they will always, a master tier player will always utilize that window. They will always take those opportunities and get as much as they can out of it. And that's something I need to be a lot more proactive about. I need to pay more attention to. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to look at for this game was how the gold differential progressed throughout the game. So I was on blue team, and at the 21-minute mark, we had a 4,500 gold lead. 4,500 gold is a pretty large amount. That's enough to snowball a game properly if you do the right things. But something happens between 21 and 28 minutes. The gold lead is cut from 4,500 to only 1,000. So what happened? Here's the first mistake my team makes within that time period. So Pantheon gets solo killed by Jax. That's on him, there's nothing I can do to help that. But my team, myself included, has a lack of common sense judgment here. Pantheon's dead for 45 seconds, and Jax continues to split push after the kill. Let's freeze it. Pantheon is dead for 25 more seconds, and Jax is showing on the map, about to hit our top tier 2 turret. No one reacts to this, and instead, I make a decision to push for their bot tier 2 turret. Why is this a bad decision? Well, only one of two outcomes can occur. Either we trade tier 2 turrets, or Jax gets a turret and we get nothing. One outcome is bad, and the other is neutral. The correct play was to back and defend the turret from Jax. A big issue this game was that Pantheon got outscaled by Jax, and he became a huge problem with his split pushing. There are ways to combat a split pusher, but it involves having your top laner alive, which we simply did not, so we give up global gold for nothing, and a lot of map pressure. And then to make matters worse, I get a little overextended here. Me and Lucian are on the same page. We're trying to retreat. We don't want to fight this. Bard goes in, and there's just a lot of confusion. We're not on the same page. Bard thinks that we should fight. I think we should retreat. I end up getting baited by Bard, which is my own fault, honestly. I shouldn't get baited by a bad decision from a teammate. And yeah, we die, and we give up 3 kills to their Jinx, and that's part of the reason why we started to throw. So the game goes on, and despite giving up our lead, we still were winning in objectives. We got a few Barons, we won a few fights, we had every dragon, but we just could not get it done. And even going back and watching it, I can't say for certain what I could have done to win that game personally. I think I still made a few careless plays toward the end of the game. I was focusing way too much on stopping the Jax split push, and looking at the two teams, they outscaled us hard in every matchup, so it really doesn't matter if we had a lead when the game goes past 40 minutes. At that point, we've already put ourselves in a horrible situation. I think my team didn't group enough. I think I was in my own world too much. I was being very reactive to everything they were doing and not really making proactive calls, especially with the Baron buff. I think with Bard Kennen, we could have just made an aggressive push as 5 and even dove them and just try and forcefully end the game. When you're against a team that outscales you, it's often better to go for the all-in plays before the game drags out too long, because it's really hard to win when you do get outscaled. Overall, I think rewatching this game has taught me a lot about my play, especially as Lee Sin. I think it's a mixture of playing too quietly, meaning I'm not synergizing with my team enough, I'm not being optimal with my early game decisions, and my late game macro is just way too underdeveloped. Late game is hard, especially as Lee Sin, it really is, but it's an essential part of the game, and if I want to become a master tier player, I'm going to need to know how to handle late game macro decisions a lot better. So I have a lot to think about moving forward, and hopefully I can start to see an improvement in these areas before the start of Season 7. That's the end of today's video. Don't forget to check out BATTLEFY, the website to participate in League of Legends tournaments. I'm hosting my own next weekend, and I made a video explaining that. For those of you already in, I'll have a follow-up video sometime before the tournament to explain how it'll run. To those of you who are just hearing about this now, check out this video here, and maybe you can sign up to play in my tournament. Registration ends on Sunday, though, so do hurry. Thanks for all the support, guys. Until next time.
We got history, yeah.